Hello, my viewers. Hope you all are fine. Let us begin with our second session of the chapter called as The First War of Indian Independence 1857. In our last session, we have learned about the different causes for the First War of Indian Independence, where we have said that the different reasons has made the Indians to raise their voice against whom? Against the British. And this made what it is that it even created a sense of unity among the Indians. It's a sense of unity, as it was being found that the British, purely British, they were only 40,000. Purely British, they were only 40,000, and these are the British and Indians. Okay, they were near about 2 lakh. How many? 2 lakh, which shows what it is that power of the Indians were more compared to whom? Compared to the British. So this sense of superiority made the Indians to raise their voice against whom? Against the British. This revolt, it took birth, or we can say it began, due to the reason called as the British introduced a new rifle. British introduced the new rifle called Royal Enfield rifle. Okay, I'm not talking about the bike. We are talking about which one? About the rifle. Okay, during the time of 1857, the new rifle was been introduced. Rifle, or very simple in the language, called as a gun. Okay, a new gun was been introduced called as a Royal Enfield. At the time, it was new gun. It was, which was handed in the hands of the home, in the hands of the Indians. It was handed in the hands of Indians, as well as those all soldiers, British. Right now, here the soldiers who are working over there, irrespective of Hindus, Muslims, Sikh, Jainism, right? Everyone were been there in the way in that army. So new rifle was been brought, Royal Enfield. Now the rumor was been spread that the cartridge of Royal Enfield, the cartridge of Royal Enfield is been smeared with the fat of cow and pig. This rumor, it was been spread. Okay, and the new gun, when it was been handed over, now the incident, which begins from the place called as a Barrackpur. In the Barrackpur, the British officer gives the order. The order was to took out the safety catch with their teeth. Took out the safety catch with their teeth. Now, what type of rumor it was? It was been smeared with the fat of cow and pig. Pig, which is not accepted in the Islam religion, and cow, which is holy to the whom? To the Hindus. When this news was being spread, and when the British officer orders to took out the safety catch with their teeth, now nor Hindu accepted this, nor the Islam person accepted this, and they raised their voice against whom? Against the British officer, that they will not took out the safety catch with the help of their teeth. British officer become very angry, and what he did, he brutally hit them and made them to throw in the way in the jail, who all didn't accept it to the orders of the British officer. And this news spread overall throughout the other areas. Now, everywhere there was a discussion among the sepoys that in this way, that thing happened. British officer, he said in this way, the Indians refused because it was been smeared with the fat of cow and pig. So everyone, the same reason it was been there, which caused what it is at. This gave more spark when a revolutionary person called as a Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey, what he does, due to this, upset by this, he takes action, and what he does, he kills a British officer. What he does, he kills a British officer called as a Hudson. Okay, he was being killed. Who is this? He is a British officer called Hudson, who killed Mangal Pandey. He killed, which caused what it is at. Mangal Pandey was arrested and he was being hanged. More news spread now. Mangal Pandey, a revolutionary leader, was been hanged. Our revolutionary leader has been dead. Mangal Pandey has been killed. Number rumors were everywhere. The news was been spread, which created more angerness among the whom among the sepoys. But this after this, but when once again when the same thing was being introduced, orders were being given by the British officer at the place called as Meerut, Meerut, when the same orders were being given. Now this time the sepoys who were been there, they become very angry, and they too did the same, refuse of the orders what they did, what was been done by the soldiers who were there in the barrackpur. But this time the officer more than brutally, they hit to the home he hit to the those all soldiers who refused. Many of our soldiers, they died there itself by the hitting it, and rest of them were being thrown into the where into the Merit jail. Sepoys from the other corner, they become very angry. It was decided by the sepoys to march to the way to the Merit jail. Huge amount of sepoys gathered. They marched to the way to the Merit jail. Merit jail was being attacked. Number of Europeans were being killed. Who? British were being killed. The jail was made empty. The jail was made what? Empty. Those soldiers, thieves, other persons who were being thrown into the jail by the British, the jail was made empty. It gave a lot of confidence to the sepoys. Then sepoys from there, they decided to continue their revolt, and they reached to the way to the Delhi, right? At the place called as a Red Fort. They reached to the way to the Delhi Red Fort, which was again protected by the whom? By the British. By the whom? By the British were been what? They were been killed by the whom? By the sepoys. Sepoys, what they did? They killed. Red Fort was been made once again independent from the British, and sepoys decided to make, okay, Bahadur Shah. Bahadur Shah as a what? Second, as the ruler of each one of the Delhi. Bahadur Shah become very much happy over it. But Bahadur Shah was too old to run the administration or to take the control of it or to help to the home to the sepoys, as nor he was having the money nor he was having the soldiers. When he expressed sepoys, right, with the little bit of dissatisfaction, but they were happy another side that, however, Delhi has been freed from the Red Fort, has been freed from the home from the British. And sepoys, they continued their further movements. They started looting the number of treasuries, number of police stations, started decay, loot everywhere it was been found. There was a too much of bloodshed. It was the revolt against whom? Against the British. And in this junction, even it was been found that the revolt reached up to the where? Up to the Jhansi also. Rani Lakshmi Bai, who wanted to make her adopted son as the ruler of the Jhansi, but she faced the policy called as a doctrine of lapse, which made what it is that the revolt which spread up to the Lucknow, sepoys from the different corner, even they too supported to the home to the Jhansi, Rani Lakshmi Bai, right? But at last, it was the British with our own people, the people who betray or who support Indians who supported to the home to the British, because of due to that reason, it was been found that Jhansi fell under the hands of whom? Under the hands of the British, right? Being Jhansi took the Gwalior in her hand, but then also it was the British who damaged the power of the Rani Lakshmi Bai, and she died she died while fighting with the British. But Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai played a major role in keeping the British away from the place called as a Jhansi. Another side, even in the Lucknow also, Hazrat Mahal, who too wanted to make her son as a ruler, sepoys who's too supported. But again, Lucknow also fell under the hands of the whom? Under the hands of the British. In this way, different corner of areas, we have seen that sepoys, they raise their voice against whom? Against the British. Some were very successful, but somewhere even they lost. They lost due to the our own people itself. This is reason 1857 we had a big revolt against the whom? Against the British. Every corner there was a spark of the independence, but we lost. We lost due to the reason we failed to have our first war of Indian independence successfully. We failed. It's because of we were not having our army or soldiers, we can, right? We were not having a big army or big soldiers. We were not having any aim, as loot and deceit was being more seen. Okay, we were not having any aim. We were not having weapons as like as a modern weapons, as like as a British, nor we are having army or the big group of the soldiers, nor there was any aim it was been there. There was no weapons were been there. There was no strategy plan, okay, against whom? Against the British. Moreover, there was no suitable leader to guide the movement, to guide the 1857 revolt. And moreover, our own people who supported to whom? To the British, right? Supported to the whom? To the British. That also become a reason for the failure. See, we were not having any sort of big army, nor we were having any sort of aim, nor we were having the good weapons, nor plus economy also, okay, nor we are having any strategies, plans, nor there was a suitable leader was been there. And even moreover, our own people supported to the whom? To the British. And moreover, common people, who? Common people lost faith on whom? On sepoys. Common people lost faith on sepoys, as they were afraid of which one? Of this loot as well as deceit. Due to this reason, it was been found that our first war of Indian independence moved in a very massive way, but could not able to reach up to its destiny due to these number of problems. Okay, right? But how come it has put up a big impact? It has put up a big impact on the way on the British. Big impact it was, as it was been found that, as we very well know that the East India Company, which was ruling on this country called as India, which was ruling on this country called as India, okay, which one? East India Company. There were some charter acts were being introduced. The charter acts which begins from 1813, 1813, 1833, 1853. Okay, but after 1853 we have seen the big revolt called as the first war of Indian independence. Now it was the year 1858. It was the year 1858 when the British East India Company power was taken by the Queen of England. In the year 1858, the Queen of England took the power of the British East India Company from their hand to her hand. So there was a full stop, and she restricts the East India Company of its expansion policies. The British East India Company, who was expanding his empire, was being made stopped, was being given full stop by the Queen. So the first step taken by the England Queen was stop of expansion of the power. The first it was when the power was been taken. Okay, so administration went under the hands of whom? Under the hands of the Queen. It was said by the Queen. Okay, but during that time, Curzon, Lord Curzon, who was working as a viceroy. Okay, viceroy means one who represent the queen, one who represent the queen. We call him as a viceroy. So during 1858, Lord Curzon was what? He was a viceroy. So Lord Curzon, what he did, he read the proclamation which was been done by the queen in front of whom? In front of the Indians at Allahabad. Okay, about the Queen Declaration. What about which one? About Queen Declaration. Who did this work? Lord Curzon. Indians, in front of Indians. Okay, front of Indians at Allahabad, about Queen. Which one? About whom? About the Queen Declaration in the year 1858. Okay. Now, according to the declaration, East India Company can't make any agreements without the permission of the native ruler. If native ruler accepts to do the agreement, then East India Company can do. But forcibly, East India Company can't do any sort of agreement or put any sort of agreement on the whom, on the native ruler. Right? What was the condition was we made? East India Company, if the native ruler and East India Company, if they both agreed to do the agreement, then okay. If not, then forcibly East India Company can't do the any sort of agreement. This was a condition made. Second condition was made, ambitious expansion. Now till today we have been seeing that British East India Company, day by day, year by year, with his cunning policies, he was defeating to the home, to the native ruler, by taking the help of the other native ruler, and he was expanding his empire. Now, here it was decided by the East India Company that ambitious plans or expansion plan of the British East India Company should be stopped. It was been made. Moreover, Indians were being given, promised that soon they are going to get a stable government. What they are going to get? They are going to get the stable government. Okay, that was been made. Moreover, Queen even promised that British East India Company will not interfere in the religious matter of the Indians. Religious matter. Why religious matter? It's because it was been found many of the sepoys were been beaten brutally. Many of the sepoys was been taken to the way to the England, converted into the slave, conversion of the Christian religion. Okay, dissatisfaction among here in the country called as India. Moreover, orders to remove the cartridges, safety catches with the teeth, right? The rumor of cow and pig. These all things have totally damaged or it affected to the religious thing of the Hindus as well as the Muslims. So here, Queen promises that the government will not interfere in any of the religious matter of the Indians. So these promises somewhat it given a new hope to the Indians, but there was no sign of independence. As after 1857, after being making these all, again we saw that India got its independence in the year 1947, near about 1850, near about 90 years after. Again, we have to struggle more, but somewhat there was a lot of changes. It was been found in the way in the among the Indians and as well as among the British. So this was all related to the chapter called as a First War of Indian Independence. Hope you have understood this properly. If any, then also if any queries are been there, you can come up with your comments, and definitely yes, I will come. I will clear all those any sort of queries if you are been having. Hope you have enjoyed this session. Let us meet in our next session with a new, more topics. And as usual, I say, don't forget to like as well as subscribe and make your also friends to learn more by attending the classes. Thank you.